the sideline, dances slow and looks at me.
Hi everyone! I got my first Kelly in Beijing, China. Believe it or not. I didn't expect myself to be actually getting my first Kelly in China at all because a lot of Chinese, as you know, they get it from other places in the world, and I've heard a lot of stories about how painful it is to, meet the quota, get to know the sales, and actually almost pleasing them before you can be privileged enough to give money to Hermes and get your first bag. But surprisingly, my first experience was nothing like that. In China, it was actually very, very smooth and easy, so to speak. I still remember it was the third day or something within a week that I arrived in China. I went to a mall called SKP, and that's one of the more luxurious high-end shopping centers. Their yearly sales is unbelievable, and I still remember I went in there. It was having an annual sale, and it seems quite pleasing. A lot of hustle and bustle, people having many bags, and then we just walked into Hermes, and I was asking the sales like I normally do, just kind of not expecting anything, but hey, do you have any Birkins or Kelly? And so to my surprise, the sales right away said, yes, we do. What are you looking for? What color? And I said, well, the last one I got was a Chanel, and it was white, and it was a medium size. I'm hoping something more everyday use this time, so a smaller size would be good. Any dark color, because the white was very painful in the aspect that I had to really care for it, and it's not for everyday. So anyway, she said just dark color and small, and I said yes. And then she said to me, well, I have a pink in Birkin and kind of like a dark blue in 25 in Kelly, and it's in gold hardware. So I said, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like that's what I'm looking for. And she said, oh, by the way, it's a ratio of 1:1. So it's very straightforward, unlike some story that I've heard where you have to build a rapport, never ask for sales, that you wanted something, build a relationship before you ask for a favor. But that wasn't the case with me. And as soon as she said that, I said, okay, let me take a look around. Their store is not big, by the way. It's actually quite small, but it have all the essentials. I would say what's popular, they did have it back then. So I was walking around, and I was playing around. I was looking at jewelry too, but jewelry, one item kind of met my quota right away. And being new to Hermes, I just decided that, you know what, let me check out other things. Maybe there's things that I can use also daily. So I continued browsing, and there were scarves, obviously, there were clothing, there were china, there's blankets, children, baby stuff, and shoes, obviously, and accessories. So basically, I was just browsing around. I remember there was a point where I was picking out things and marking it down or gathering it somewhere because the whole store was a mess. It felt like a Walmart more than an Hermes because everybody was shopping. And there was a point where I was calculating, and I was like, I'm not really meeting that target. I almost wanted to give up, and the sales came to me and said, hey, you want to take a look at the bag first? I said, okay, let's do it. And then she brought me to the room, closed all the doors, make sure it's an enclosed private area, and then there it was, the bag.
I know love is hard to find. That is from moonlight, wishes me a good night. We stand on the sideline, alone we walk alone. So yes.
Another added bonus was that because it was an annual sale, there was an additional 10% off. It was something like 10% of the value, which will be given back to you in a gift card style. But how it works is the sales just separated into different bills, if that makes sense to you, so that we're not stuck with an additional 10%. So they just kind of worked it into the math so that we just got an additional 10%. And being a foreigner, I also get an extra 10 to 15%, I would say, of rebate. So that was very nice. So total, I got at least 20% discount. And for those of you who are interested, by the way, that's something I didn't know at the time, was that during this annual sale of SKP, the mall, besides the typical 10%, if they're participating retailer, for certain days, you actually got an additional 10% off for certain brands. So if I had only knew about that, or if I had only went on the right day, technically I could have gotten more than 30% off. But at the time, I just kind of went in there, I saw what I liked, I bought it. So anyways, just a note to future people who are interested, if you're in China or happen to be stopping by, that's just something to watch out for. In the end, everything was successful, as you can see here. This is actually everything we got that day. As I said, we only arrived there within a few days in China, so we're actually not even settled into our new official place. So what ended up happening was that I took the Kelly with me, and then I asked her, hey, can you hold the rest of the stuff, because I'm still in the process of moving. I was still in a hotel going to move to my next place, and they said no problem, but we highly recommend that you don't leave the Kelly with us. I guess it's due to liability issues. So I did take my Kelly with me that day, but the rest they kept and sent it to the store where I live. Like where I live also had an Hermes downstairs, so they just kind of shipped it to that store. So once I moved in, I went downstairs and I just picked it back up. So it was quite a smooth experience all in all, and I would say there wasn't a lot of pain involved in it. I have been to France, and I did, go in and ask the sales, hey, you have any Birkin? Listen, I'm ready, like, to make a purchase. But obviously, things are different there, and I think it's also luck, depending on who you meet and are you going at the right time. Different people do get different experiences, but so far I really enjoyed the China experience, especially maybe a lot of people don't know about the tax refund that they actually give to foreigners. So that was really helpful. I was invited to that year's warehouse sale, and that year's warehouse sale was very interesting in the sense that I think everything was 50% off, or maybe more, but I vaguely recall that it was something like everything 50% off. There was some sort of a limit as to how many scarves you can get, how many shoes, and etc. But the limit was quite high, something like 10 or 8 or something like that. So for personal use wise, it's definitely enough, and it was quite an experience, because I also read somewhere in Europe that people lined up hours and hours, starting from through 2 a.m., 5 a.m., etc. We had none of that experience, because I think it was an invitation only, and the people that went are usually clients of Hermes anyways, and they just kind of send them invitations because of how much they spent that year. I think I read somewhere that if you spent something like 20k RMB that year, if they have a warehouse sale, you would qualify to getting invitations. And they actually called me first, so they did ask me, hey, do you want more invitation to friends that you would like to come? We can send you as many as you want. So that was something interesting. If your friends that are going anyway, it's actually quite easy. You just talk to there's a hotline, I guess, in a way. It says Hermes when they call you, and you just tell them, hey, I have 2 more friends who are wanting to come. So at the time, I think I got a few tickets, and that was an interesting experience in itself. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you that video. I'm looking forward to posting it. Thanks again for watching. Bye.